Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, we're going to another spooky movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who else is screaming in space with me tonight?
Hey everybody, it's Kenneth Sanity, and I am a survivor, unclouded by conscience, remorse, or delusions of morality.
I'm Bill Tucker from A Gamer Looks at 40, and right.
And this is Richard Sampson from the YouTube channel Rich Kale and various fan fiction sites. And I won't be lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies.
And I'm Kyle Foster, and I'm scared out of my goddamn mind, and I'm hanging out with Jones the cat.
As we all should be. As we all should be, right?
Oh, yes, yes.
I get that.
Hey, she had to put that cat in that box, otherwise the cat would have never stayed. That's what I was thinking of.
Exactly.
We are here to talk about Alien, directed by Ridley Scott, screenplay by Dan O'Bannon, and came out in 1979.
Ah, yes. I remember 1979, vaguely. I was 4. I didn't see the movie at the time.
I wasn't born until 1990.
Ken, I'm assuming you didn't see this movie at too young of an age again?
No, actually, I did not for once. This was one that I actually was well into double digits before seeing. I didn't see this until my mid to late teens.
That's about when I saw it, actually.
Yeah, same here. I didn't see this until I was about 24? 23. No, actually, 23 or 24. I don't know what it was exactly, but, I was always, really afraid to watch any of the Alien movies until I was in, my 20s. I had watched, horror movies before in, my younger years, but there was always something about the Alien movies that seemed, even scarier than, a typical horror movie.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, I saw this, I'd say, fall of 1991. My British literature teacher, his name was Larry Conahan, God rest his soul, he passed away a couple decades ago. He had shown us the movies. He had them on Laserdisc.
Nice.
And he was one of these, before he was a British literature teacher at the school, he also taught a class, or while he was a British literature, he had also taught a class in science fiction. And that was the first time I saw these movies, and it started a lifelong love for anything alien related.
I'm pretty sure I saw this in my early 20s when I was trying to go through and watch horror movies I'd never seen before. I might have seen this in high school, but I don't know. I really can't remember. I just know I have seen this movie at least maybe once. Or I've seen parts of it for sure on TV when I was a kid. But I think I've only seen this movie all the way through maybe once before. I did not remember everything in this film. And Bill, what is your history with this movie?
I was all of -1 years old when this came out, so I was not born yet. This is one of those I didn't see either until I was probably a teenager, maybe even college at this point. But my dad was a huge fan, and this was one of the 15 or 20 tapes we had in the cabinet, VHS tapes. And I always thought it would look really cool. It was just the word alien with the egg and the green and that iconic poster basically on it. And it always looked like that's the movie I'm not supposed to watch. I'm not supposed to watch the Alien movie. I can watch Batman Forever. I can watch a lot of things in that cabinet, but Alien, no. RoboCop, not allowed, even though I did end up watching it on my own anyway. At a way too early age. But that was one of those I knew. But I just always associate Alien with my dad because that was a movie he really loved, and I was not allowed to watch that. So I don't think I watched it until I was in college. Again, probably one of those Netflix deals, and this is great. This is the big question, of course, is going to be: do you prefer Alien or Aliens? And that really depends on the type of movie you prefer, I think, because they're both excellent.
Yeah, they are both excellent.
Yeah.
Aliens is actually one of those few sequels that surpass the original.
Yeah, Alien is really good.
Yeah,
it is.
It is a good one. Yeah, I prefer Alien a little bit over Aliens. As much as I enjoy Aliens, and Aliens is excellent, I just love the slow creeping dread of Alien, and that's a thing I love. So for me, Alien slightly wins out, but Aliens that's one of those great 1-2 punches in cinema.
It's not even a contest for me. Alien by a country mile.
That's not surprising. Aliens
just I don't know. It feels cheaper. It's an action movie.
But it's a very good action movie.
So is Terminator 2. Also by the same director.
Yeah.
I prefer this one also. I haven't seen Aliens in a bit. I mean, it's probably been over 10 years for me. But I really do appreciate, especially now, like, after having my movie education, as I kind of call it at this point, like, I really appreciated this movie, like, the way they do it, way more than I think I could have. And I look forward to eventually getting around to Aliens. Last year I said I was going to do the whole Alien series on this podcast this year. Well, you get 1 out of 13, so hey. The Alien Predator series, it didn't happen. So it'll still happen at some point, but
Alien and Predator aren't canon anymore, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to cover all those movies. I still do at some point. This made me want to watch some of them again. We'll see.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, and Ken, what is the plot of this film?
All right, the plot of this film. All right, here we go. 7 blue-collar workers are doing their best on the intergalactic tugboat Nostromo when suddenly they get a call that they have to investigate due to money. Unfortunately, they find out that their stowaway friend that they pick up on the planet is not ET friendly, and in space, no one can hear you scream except for your dying coworkers.
So good.
Oh my god.
That is a better description of what I've been read over the years. To put it in simplest terms, Alien is truckers in space.
Yeah,
It really is.
And it's great because of that.
Yeah, and it's probably also, it's good that they made certain changes to it from the original idea.
Oh
God, yes.
Yes.
The original idea was it was supposed to be all seven men.
Really? That would have been
Yep.
Boring.
really. Yeah, that would have been extremely boring. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I know Sigourney Weaver's character was a man, and then they casted her, and he left the dialogue all the same, which is great. But yeah, her part was a male part too.
That's why the names are what they were. They were changed to be able to fit whoever they decided to cast. Could be male, could be female. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
And more movies should be like that. Come on. Let's keep referring to everybody by their last name in movies.
I dig that. Yeah, totally.
As long as that's enough to identify them. I mean, let's face it, we can't have. Now they've been arguing for it. Somebody's been wanting to get a female James Bond out there. Which, again, if the name is what goes with the title, it's still possible.
You can make it work.
Yeah.
Check it out. Jane Bond. Boom. Done.
That's it.
Shit.
All done. Wow. Do you realize, not to belabor this point too much, but do you realize, Ken, that your back of the box that you made up off the fly is better than the actual DVD back of the box? To demonstrate. The actual, I don't know what DVD this is. There are so many versions of this movie out there in the ether, but this is the first one I found. Alien is the first movie of one of the most popular sagas in science fiction history and introduces Sigourney Weaver as Ripley, the iron-willed woman destined to battle the galaxy's ultimate creature. The terror begins when the crew of the spaceship Nostromo investigates the transmission from a desolate planet and makes a horrifying discovery, a life form that breeds within a human host. Now the crew must fight not only for its own survival, but for survival of all mankind. Yours is much better. I will take yours and copy paste that over that one.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
yours is
because
much
it
better.
touches on so many key points in the movie that is mentioned in the movie.
So I had a really stupid complaint that I want to voice. In the beginning of this movie, like, I love the stuff with the title screen. I was irritated that Sigourney Weaver her name is not first in top billing. It's the other guy, the character Dallas. That I was like,
the movie's trying to fool you because the movie's trying to lead you on thinking that Ripley's not going to be the main character. That's the point.
No. Tom Skerritt is more famous than Sigourney first movie Weaver.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know
her name's not first.
I mean, she did Annie Hall and Madman, which doesn't even have a Wikipedia entry before this. So I get it, but it just it bothered me because she is the main character.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to remember now the order that they're introduced in. I know Tom Skerritt was first.
Kane was first.
Yeah, Tom Skerritt
on the credit.
Tom Skerritt.
I thought you were talking about the movies. My fault.
No, I'm talking about how the actors' names appeared in the opening credits.
Yeah.
And if they did it in the order of importance on the ship,
I don't know. It was just a little thing that bugged me because I was looking at it through the eyes of like you didn't do it because it does make sense if he's a more well-known. I don't know who he is. I've never heard of the guy, so it didn't make a difference to me. I mean, to me, the only one I know is Sigourney Weaver, but that makes sense if this is one of her. I didn't realize this is her third movie. This is before she gets famous.
Isn't there like a thing in Hollywood that they're required? There's a certain way you have to have the actors if you have them beginning. Like they do. There's a certain thing. I don't know. There's like an order. There's a reason behind it, and it's usually the top biller gets first. But
then
you have
a union thing.
There's a union thing where, and if you're a featured actor, you're at the end. So if it's featuring, Samuel L. Jackson, they require Samuel L. Jackson gets his own credit. Like it's a whole union thing to how they're organized in the credits. So it's not a creative decision at all.
Yeah, and it's just now you remind me of that. Yaphet Kotto was last, I think, in the credits, but they specifically named his character that he's playing.
Last in the credits, but first in our hearts. Let's just be honest. Come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Good old Yaphet.
Yeah, and I was also just looking up beforehand. I was just checking how many of these stars from this movie are still around, and only 3 of them.
I mean, that's fair considering this is a 1979 movie, and we are now in 2024.
Yeah, Sigourney's still around, Tom's still around, and Veronica's still around.
I forgot that Tom Skerritt is 93 goddamn years old. Like, holy shit, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was making movies as early as 1962, so by the time Alien came out in 79, he'd been around for a minute. He was in MASH.
When he was in Alien, he was 46 years old.
Oh, man.
Good looking for 46, though, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, yeah.
I also didn't put 2 and 2 together to the end of this movie that the other woman in this movie is also an Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yep.
I did not put that together. I was like, oh, that's where I know her.
She was also in The Birds.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember seeing she did a few episodes of X-Files, too.
I also remember her being in the second Candyman movie as well. She's popped up in a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all of these actors have been doing various things that they can also be known for. So I'm just right now looking up Veronica. Let's see. She has done... Oh, yeah, she's done a lot. She was in Speed.
Oh, yeah, she was. Holy shit.
Let's see. Television shows. Oh, she was in early... First thing is listed like for television, 1959.
Oh.
Yeah, but let's see. She was a recurring role in L.A. Law.
Nice.
Let's see. An episode of ER. Yeah, X-Files. Yeah, she reprised the role even in 2018. Cassandra Spender.
Wow. Whoa.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to talk about the director a little bit, Ridley Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Ridley's second movie, Scott, knocking it out of the park.
Seriously, are you kidding me?
And then to think, like, after this, he did fucking, Blade Runner? Like,
yep, he does Blade Runner next, and then Legend, which I've never seen.
Legend is fun.
Legend's okay. But yeah, like, Blade Runner after this, and Blade Runner is such a masterpiece in itself. Like, man, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of movies over the years.
And he's still kicking, too. He's still doing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He did doing Gladiator 2 that came out this year. It already came out, hasn't it?
No, it's not out yet.
Not yet.
It's coming out, I think, this fall.
Okay. I've seen so many damn ads for it. I thought it was already out. Okay, I haven't seen most of his movies. Because I'm going through his list. I've seen very, very few of these.
I've seen a couple. I've seen Alien. I've seen Blade Runner, which, once again, masterpiece. I've seen a little bit of Legend, and it's okay. I haven't seen Black Rain, but I know that's just Blade Runner, but not in the future. I've seen Thelma and Louise, and I fucking love that movie very much. I love that movie a whole bunch. Fantastic movie. I've seen a little bit of G.I. Jane, and I've seen Prometheus. I've seen Alien Covenant, and I loved both those. I'm actually one of those rare people that loved Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Yeah, I've seen a few movies of his career. There's a few recent movies that he did that I still need to watch. I wanted to see House of Gucci because like it looks just like a dynasty like soap opera of like rich people just being fucking shitty, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll see that. And there's a few other movies I still need to see from him, but I've seen a decent chunk of his movies.
Okay.
I can tell you from firsthand experience, Robin Hood is terrible. Terrible. It is one of the only times in a movie theater that I have fallen asleep. I actually was watching with my brother. We saw it in theaters, and I remember just dozing off. Like,
I'm not really shocked by that because I also consider like Gladiator to be fucking terrible. Like, wow, I can't believe that movie got like Oscar. I said it. I can't believe Gladiator got Oscar nominations. Like, this movie fucking blows. Holy shit.
Wow.
He did do Hannibal. I remember that movie being not great. But
nope, wasn't great.
I'm also way too close to that first movie. So, but he did Matchstick Men, which I always loved the story. I picked up at a random gas station in 2006 on VHS while I was being driven when I was moving from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and we picked it up at a random gas station.
Nice.
Really good movie.
Isn't it amazing how the human brain works? You remembered where you picked up Matchstick Men on DVD, a random gas station.
VHS.
VHS rather.
Yeah, VHS.
I
guess that's
weird it was.
I can't remember what my son is studying in school right now. I have no idea. Like, he's adding something, I think. I don't know. But damned if I remember the Alien cover in the VHS box in my dad's closet. Yeah.
I literally remember the first ever time I experienced Back to the Future because the way I experienced it was I got it from McDonald's when there was this short time period in the mid-90s where if you got a certain meal from McDonald's or if you got like a certain couple of meals or whatever the fuck. Like, I remember my dad was taking me and my brothers to McDonald's, and one of the meals that my dad got for us came with the VHS, and we all got to pick the movie, and we all agreed on Back to the Future. And I was like, okay, I'd never seen Back to the Future before, but I still agreed to it, and that's how I got to see that movie, was because of McDonald's.
Hey, at least it was that movie and not this movie being given away. So. Hey.
Oh, Jesus. No, it was a bunch of family. It was a bunch of family movies. It was what's that fucking baseball movie about the guy who's a farmer and he makes a baseball diamond out of it? Field of Dreams. Thank you. Oh my God, I totally blanked on that. I know it's Kevin Costner, but I couldn't remember the name. Field of Dreams, one of the Fievel movies. I think it was Fievel Goes West. It was Back to the Future, and there was like a fourth like family movie. I just can't remember what it was.
Wayne's World.
No, Universal. That's Paramount.
All right. I really do appreciate how this movie opens up. It's such a quiet opening.
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel like I would have appreciated had it not been for Ken and Bill and getting me to watch some of the things you have. Like, it's just the way that I just really like it. I like it that everything is so slow. The way the camera pans around to give it that creepy feeling like somebody's watching them. I love it.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. First off, 6 minutes. 6 minutes of no talking at the beginning of your movie.
Yeah.
Unheard of. But it gives you time to get into this world, to hear what this world sounds like, to get a feel for the environment around you. How are these people living? What are they all about?
Yeah.
And it's a real quick start into the suspense. Like, it's not a bad suspense. You don't think anything bad's going to happen. You're just on the edge of your seat waiting for something to happen.
Yeah. And when it does happen, it catches you.
Yeah.
An hour into the movie, yes.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I
even just
appreciate
that. Just the fact that you're getting the pan through the ship while it's quiet. And you're talking of a ship that does not have warp capabilities. So how do people survive all that with not having a massive storage for food and all that, which we see in this opening sequence? They are asleep. And so the computer is running everything. It's so quiet, and it's exactly what it's supposed to be. And then the signal comes in, and things come to life.
Yeah, the way they film that too, like just seeing the signal within the helmets, and it's all so well done, and just it's creepy in its own way.
Oh man, the projecting the screen onto the helmets bit
Mhm.
That's probably the smartest thing this opening did.
Yep.
It just subconsciously, you're not even thinking about it, but in a way that humanizes the computer to show that, oh, this computer is going to be a character of its own in this movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pretty
It
clever.
sure is.
And I love the fact that this really is just a roving tow truck. this is just a 18-wheeler in space doing just boring carting around stuff. I forget what it's carting around. It's carting around some sort of mineral or
A refinery,
Yeah.
an entire ass for refinery.
Yeah,
oh, that's what
entire-
they're. Okay.
It's like 200,000 tons or some nonsense it says. And it's just this giant thing that's plodding its way through space. I love how lived in it is, even though there's nobody really aboard. There's pictures all over the place. You can tell that the crews had some fun on this ship before they went into hibernation. And if you think about what the science fiction was of the era, 1979, we're still firmly in Star Wars world. We're firmly, 2001 Space Odyssey was way before that, but
Yep.
everything looks clean and everything well, Star Wars never looks clean. That's why kind of Star Wars is cool. But I just really dug this alternate version of like, hey, this is not a glamorous cruise we're on. This is a hunk of junk that we're just getting some work done for the company. I really like that. And this opening sequence really sets all that up and really sets the tone as well. This movie is a slow burn from that first half an hour, really. And it's great.
And it also, they have things there that connect to the person, the person of the day. I mean, I showed my daughter two of the two omitted scenes that they had, that they didn't want to even use. And one of which my daughter picked up on we used to call them dodo birds, at least when I was a kid. It's the little bird that goes
yes.
dip, and
Yeah,
The
it dips
dippers.
in the water.
and it just stood out there, and she's like, picked up on that. That's a way that they attach with, the audience. Sort of says,
Yep.
this is, helps to connect to, this is the future, but they have stuff from our time.
It doesn't feel very futuristic anymore, but yes.
Oh yeah.
Another
Yeah,
thing
but I love all that. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, I just love all the old computer stuff too. All the clickety clacking and
it is.
the text-based
yeah.
stuff. It's so great. I adore all of that.
I mean, it's one of those things that in at the time of this movie, it fits perfectly. I still appreciate it. I do like that aesthetic of Alien, where it's like 1970s technology in whatever time this is. Like, I do appreciate that very much so. Like, and they kept that vibe going.
Oh yeah.
They have to. I mean, that's what you created. Like, that's your vibe. But I was also thinking about, like, after they wake up, the first thing that they do is eat before they even look at the computers to see what, that where they are or anything. They just go and eat breakfast. And it's funny because that's accurate. That's what you would do. If you've been asleep for all this time, you're like, fuck work. Let's get some food in us. Then we'll figure out what the hell is going on.
And I like the attention to detail there because it's light food. It's not heavy feasting. It's like, oh, here's some granola. Your body's been asleep for months. It can't handle big, rich food like that. So they're just eating light food.
I didn't think about that.
I'll admit I didn't think of it either until Ken mentioned it. But it's a good point. It's also your common thought. We always say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but we don't all get to eat. So quote, pop a few eggs on the stove and cook up some eggs. No, 9 times out of 10, we're going to grab something like cereal or something quick that we can open up and eat right away.
Yeah.
And my question is, did that saying come from a corporation that was trying to sell us food?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Like, I always remember those stupid commercial beef. It's what's for dinner. And it wasn't until I got older when, yeah, good propaganda there, guys.
Yeah, except it is
make
what's
sense.
for dinner.
Yeah.
Especially on this in this spaceship, am I right?
Nah.
Ew.
It's lunch, dinner, and snacks.
Oh.
And right away in this movie, right after you get introduced to characters and you see them waking up, you do see Dallas talking to the AI, which is they call it Mother, which I feel is very interesting to have. I mean, I do like the computer, but to have it called Mother, like, I think that also really kind of fits what this movie is going for.
They're just referring to their favorite JRPG video game series.
Before it was ever even conceived of.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the future, so by then they have
Hey,
like
I'll
Mother
take it.
3 out, and Mother 3's probably been localized, because it would take that fucking long because Nintendo sucks. And then, like, yeah, like they're just, like that, they're just very big fans of the series.
No, it also goes with the point that the computer is, quote, watching over them. So it does fit to call it mother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's also its name. It's designated MU-TH-UR.
Yeah.
You see it real quick. Like, it's not just an affectation. That's what it is.
That I did not pick up on.
I think I remember also seeing that because it's also the name of an achievement, Dead by Daylight, for that particular map.
Just the way that the movie really introduces you to the crew, because after that you have them waking up, like when they realize that they're not supposed to be where they're at, they're not at Earth. Like, they go to the computer, like, hey, call traffic control. They're like, what the fuck? And then it takes them a little bit to figure out that, like, hey, we're in a completely different galaxy, I think is what it is. Correct? Or
different sector, not our system.
Not our system. It's going to take 10 months of flying to get back. We don't find that out until much later, but it's going to take 10 months to get us back to where we were. And we're not quite sure why did Mother wake us up? Why did Mother start clanging the alarm bell? Hey. And I love the routine of this. They all understand that, hey, this is just procedure. Why would we not think it's time to, we should be by Earth, shouldn't we? Wait, we're not. We're nowhere near it. What's going on? And that's one of the first things that, there's lots of things very early on that clues you into something's wrong, but just that departure from procedure for something that should be standard procedure is a very unsettling thing. And this movie is incredibly good at just unsettling you at every turn.
Yeah. Until it gets revealed, they think they're almost home.
Yep.
And that's got to be such a gut punch. Like, here you've been out for who knows how many years, like you're traveling, you're like, hey, and they're like, wait, we're not home. Because that's like a 2-year trip that must be then, wherever they're coming from.
Definitely more than the 3-hour tour.
Yeah, I can't imagine being like, hey, honey, I'll see you in 3 years. Like, but, I mean, different line of work. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was, I think it was initially mentioned in the first, or at least in source material for the first movie, that after they decided, because I didn't reread the novelization by Alan Dean Foster. But you have to also remember, Ripley is a mother.
Yep.
Yeah, she has a daughter, which I didn't know about until Alien Isolation came out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I knew about the daughter long before that.
Yeah, they discussed the daughter in Aliens.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, when you talk about her family. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I saw that movie, but I didn't pay attention to that, or I didn't remember that. That didn't stick with me. Strange things stick with me, like buying VHS at a gas station, but not that.
Oh, we always remember something odd. Always have to remember something odd, and I'll mention one odd thing later. But
okay, I do like when they find out why they stopped was for a signal, and a couple of the guys, I think they're supposed to be kind of like the mechanic, Parker and the other gentleman that always
Brett
says yes.
Parker.
Yep.
I like how he's like, fuck it, let's just go back to sleep and get back home, like, and then. As I'm going to refer to him in this movie, Bilbo Baggins, the same actor. I don't know the name of the actor.
Holm, he played Ash.
Yep.
I just kept calling him Bilbo Baggins when I was watching this movie because he's Bilbo Baggins in Lord of the Rings. But he's the one that tells them if we don't do it, you forfeit all your shares. Like, what kind of job is this where the company is in your contract that if you don't do this one thing, all your money is forfeit for the last 2 years you've been traveling? Like.
Mike, welcome to the world of capitalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anybody really read the employee handbook? Let's be honest here. Seriously.
I actually have for my job, but that's only because I know exactly what I can get away with.
I did not read mine.
Which is
mine.
A lot.
Well, this just also adds to, give the reason. I mean, you're talking about getting paid for how many years of your life, and to forfeit it because you won't investigate a symbol.
Good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's asinine, but for a company, hey, we have a nice little loophole here to save money.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the giant space tugboat isn't cheap, and hey, if you're gonna be out there in the middle of nowhere and you come across the thing we want you to find, it shouldn't be the biggest deal in the world to just go give it a look-see with no preparation or experience or anything really. Just
just go.
It's a bit of a device to force them to get there, but I'm glad they address it. And it's one of those things. Hey, this is the gig, right? I've done a bunch of these. It happens. And from the captain's point of view, I forget the captain's name off the top of my head.
Dallas.
Thank you. Dallas rather. I'm always so bad with names. Dallas is kind of like, hey, this is the gig. Like, I suspect Dallas has done this before. Like the company's probably pulled this kind of chicanery up on them at some point. So he doesn't seem all that surprised. Like, oh yeah,
No, he's not that shocked.
No, he's not too surprised at this development.
It would show how seasoned of a captain he is.
It isn't this point. It's later in the movie where he makes a comment about that the science officer Ash, he served with somebody else the last so many terms, and then 2 days before this trip, they switched him out.
Yeah, that's a good deal later that they're talking about that.
Yeah.
But like Dallas is the calm before the storm. Like he is the rock of this crew. Barely ever raises his voice.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, whatever, let's do this thing. We all have a job. I'm tired of babysitting you idiots, but I want to get paid.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, them going down to the planet, I didn't really think about this, but I was watching a YouTube video that kind of explained it a bit more, is that they show how complicated it would be to land on a planet and then get off said planet, not just like, where like in Star Wars, it's just like they just land there, all right, let's go, much different science fiction.
That's a good point. It's a harrowing experience. Yeah.
Where they beam because they didn't have money to have the shuttle go in and out. So, like, it's interesting to have that, and once I was told that, I appreciated it so much more because it's a good few minutes of them trying to land, and when they do land, they damage the ship.
Yeah,
because they're not landing in a place that's built for them landing. It's just a foreign planet that's a hostile environment.
Yeah, I mean, when you first watch the movie, as they are landing the ship, you hear that loud sound, which. Yeah, the ship's getting damaged. You wonder what it might have been, but that actually would be the sound of something on the hull ripping off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to anyone who's never watched it before and you're listening you hear this sound, your thought process is, what the hell was that? I mean, is that the titular alien?
Yeah. And just everything with them landing on the planet, the way they do it. I mean, coming into this movie knowing a little bit of like what the movie is, what's going to happen, I paid a little bit more attention to the way Ash reacts to everything because I feel like there's a lot of telltale signs to what's going on. Not yet, but there's some huge telltale signs in this movie that I enjoyed. But just like when they do land, and finally you do have the three of them, Dallas and I don't remember the other two characters' names.
Kane,
I think.
Lambert.
Kane and Lambert.
When they go off out of the ship and then they go to investigate, because after they land, I mean, they damage the ship. Like, well, we still got to investigate the signal while we're here. Otherwise, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course, they also now and Brett and Parker have to work on repairing the damage done.
And they're very upset about it too.
Yeah, not pleased at all about this development. They're not happy that they have to fix the thing. So,
well, I mean,
yeah, and it's
stupid.
Also understandable.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily stupid.
No,
because
it's stupid that they landed when this wasn't their destination. And like, you
they were told to. They had.
Well, yeah, they didn't have a choice. But to you're like, you have a job where you're towing something, and you go and you risk that job to land on an unknown planet, no matter what the technology is. That still has a good chunk of risk that you could lose your whole crew and the ship and the refinery you're towing. Like, all of it could be for naught.
It's on the company, though. The company told them to do it.
Yeah.
So are we saying the real villain of this, just like Jaws, the real villain is capitalism? The real villain is corporate America and the corporation? Yeah. It's not the alien. Alien is just doing what alien does. Like, you can't blame the alien.
It's just a creature. I don't. Yeah. I mean, the alien's more of a. I mean, this is not because this is not a real life creature, unlike with Jaws and a shark. But it's the same idea of an animal being an animal.
Yeah,
I mean, that you know of. It could be.
Yeah, I mean, the alien's just doing what an alien does. Eat, make more aliens.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, yes. I mean, it's doing what it's it would be found instinct of an animal. Like, I don't fault it in this movie. And also, this movie, do they ever say Weyland-Yutani?
It's on a couple computer screens.
Okay.
Yeah. It's even you even see it when they access Mother.
Okay. Yep. See, there's so many things like with this franchise, I know so much about this franchise. So I was trying not to fill in any blanks while watching this movie. Because, like, I know why the signal's there. I know why they went there, but I'm trying to be like, okay, what does the movie tell me? This movie.
Yeah. And they did some neat work to make even that scene work when they're heading out to the alien spacecraft. First off, because of how they built the set for it, they needed to give it size proportion. And so what they did was they had some of the kids of some of the people that work there basically dress up in the astronaut gear to help show the size.
Oh, cool. I didn't know
Ridley
that.
Scott's kids are in those scenes in the spacesuit.
That's cool. Oh,
Yeah.
I really dig that. That's
awesome.
That's some old time movie magic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
And the spacesuits were so hot they only passed out a few times.
Fantastic.
He's not wrong.
Child labor.
That reminds me of what was it? The Golem and Goldbless for Ken and Films, Monogman and Goldbless, or I can't remember the last names, but anyways, one of the people have their child on their film sets, and like the child would be this little baby in a carriage, and like the kid in the carriage would be like inches away from death, and like the mom, the husband's mother would be like, maybe we should not do that, and then like he'd be like, no honey, it's perfect for the shot, like don't ruin it. It's like, wow, okay. Just willingly put your kids in danger for your movie.
Yeah, and they also use some other tactics like to get reactions out of the people. I mean, part of the animosity you might have seen between like Parker and Ripley, that's because I think the Ridley Scott basically told him to antagonize her.
Yep.
I mean, it does fit the late 70s. It does fit men. I mean, it fits the situation. Like, I think it all makes very much sense to be here.
I mean, we're not talking like levels of what Kubrick did to Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
Kubrick, I think, is a bit of an asshole. So,
yeah.
Yep.
who also doesn't like a city that Ken is very close to.
No, you're thinking of Orson Welles.
Oh, sorry, wrong person.
Kubrick's just an asshole.
Yeah. But let's move on. They're walking to the alien ship.
Everything with the ship is so well done and so iconic at this point.
Oh yeah.
So I have a question. So I was watching this last night with my wife Tiffany, and she sees the ship. She's like, "It looks like a dick," and I'm like, "I don't see that."
H.R. Giger loved doing that stuff, making dicks.
Yeah.
I was watching a weird documentary, and they talked about him and how like there's so much sexual innuendo with his drawings and stuff that Fox was not okay with him being on this project. But they didn't have a choice.
It's not just him, though. Ridley Scott made this uncomfortably sexual in the 1999 commentary.
Yeah.
There's a scene that I'll talk about when we get to it that I really didn't need to have recontextualized in a sexual manner, but here we are.
Oh no, I can't. I don't.
Well, I mean, I've known that Giger's artwork is overtly sexual.
Oh, extremely.
Also weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a bunch of art books of his. I love him. He's one of my favorite artists. Always has been.
He
But
makes some crazy stuff.
yeah.
It's good, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really unique. I mean, that man saw the world differently.
Oh yeah. I think I read somewhere he always basically the nightmares he had, he put them in his artwork, which is very obvious in this.
Yeah.
That's what good artists do, though. Like, I mean, if you're a good horror artist, or author or anything, that's going to come out.
Yeah, and of course you see more of it with Species, but that's another franchise altogether.
Never seen that movie, and I might keep it that way. We'll see. Not on my to-do list. Just everything, like, with the ship, when they get on the ship, the way that, I really love the way that looks. When you get introduced to the pilot of the ship, and then they have that small moment, they go, oh, look, he's got a hole in his chest. Foreshadowing what's coming.
Prongs are bent out or outward.
Yeah, that's messed up. I mean, first off, that's a big boy. Space Jockey is a big dude.
Yep.
And that's a big hole in his chest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and when
definitely.
I was looking at another scene of it, you can kind of see the fossilized face hugger on his face too. Like, you don't know what you're looking at, but if you look close, you kind of can see the tail going down. You can kind of see it there.
There's a whole bunch going on in that, and I honestly don't even know where to begin with it, because like they're talking about how he's basically fossilized and fused with the chair. Do you know how long you have to be there for that to happen?
My guess is you're getting near 1 million years, right?
pretty damn close. Like, it's not great because the chair has to fossilize, the body has to fossilize, they have to fossilize together. So, like, there's a lot of time involved in that.
Yeah. And if you also look at it, I mean, I know this is also, you would see some of this in one of the deleted scenes, but it's like he was grown into the chair.
Yeah.
And you also notice how organic so much of that ship looks like.
The entire hallway looks like a rib cage.
Yeah, which doesn't necessarily mean it was constructed that way in how we would view construction.
What if the ship was grown? Fascinating.
That is a possibility. Or there were maybe, and it's possible. I mean, let's face it. Another theory is with the number of eggs you see down there, maybe there were more of the Xenos on there than you initially thought.
There's a shit ton.
Yep.
Yeah, and that means you have basically, obviously, if one came out of the jockey, who's to say he was the first one?
Well, there wasn't more of a crew, and the crew is gone.
Yeah.
But I like how there's no explanation to who he is, what he's there. He's just there. And, like, when they do lower the guy for some fucking reason into the pit where the eggs are.
Mm-hmm.
And he does what any dumb human would do and pokes his head in and goes, "Oh, what's this?"
Whoop, whoop, whoop. He actually stumbles and falls in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that didn't even cause him any issue. It isn't until he sees one of the eggs and it starts to kind of wake up and he does what any human probably would do and pokes his head in to look closer.
Yeah, we're kind of
you
stupid
see
like
some
that.
shit, you want to take a look at it. I can't even fault him.
Yeah.
And, like, Kane has already proven himself to be the risk taker. Like, he's, when they find the signal and they're like, "Oh, who's going out there?" And Kane's like, "I will," right away. And everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, of course you will."
Yeah.
Like, he's got a very already established to have a devil may care attitude. So, yeah, of course he's going to put his hand where his hand doesn't belong.
Yeah.
And I guess the idea that if you're seeing something that is fossilized and then all of a sudden you're seeing these living things inside this, uninhospitable or inhospitable environment, like it does fit that I guess the curiosity too would be there. Like, what is this? That's
I don't
surviving?
know. If I see a cricket, outside, like on the floor, I run. I don't think I would stick around to see the ookie gookie insides of this weird alien creature. But again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not. Nor actually neither is he either.
No, they are. They're just
yeah,
they're convoy
that's right.
truckers.
They're basically garbage people.
We are fascinated by certain things.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
And when we go into an unknown situation, I mean, there is the caution. And it usually doesn't hit some of us until maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Boom, then it happens. But as a species, we're curious. It's like I'm relating a joke to. For last only good politically aimed joke. If someone yells "duck," what do? I've even seen it referenced in other books. Somebody says "look out." 9 times out of 10, if you're conditioned properly, you will duck. You'll get out of the way. The other 10, you're going to look at what's coming.
Yeah, okay.
We're stupid like that. Occasionally, we're stupid like that.
That's fair. It's not something you see every day. And again, it makes for just a gorge. But again, just the pacing of this movie, the glacial pacing of all this. And the fact this movie's only an hour 45, it's not even, I don't think, a full 2 hours, is a miracle because how slow and drawn out this opening is. And
it's
how
hour
patient.
56 or so. It's close
56?
to 2 hours.
Is it closer to
hour
okay.
16 is what it says on here. So
Okay.
almost 2.
Okay.
But
So,
it doesn't feel overly long.
No.
And it goes slow, but it isn't boring.
No, it isn't. It keeps you. You want to see what's happening next. Even though in your heart something at some point scary is going to happen.
And you get it. The first part of it is after, like, when he does see because he sees the thing inside the egg. Then the egg opens up. That's when he peers over. Then he gets his face grabbed, and it eats through his suit or through his face mask of his suit, and then latches onto his face.
Oh yeah.
But I was also thinking that once the suit's broken, shouldn't he be dead anyway because of whatever the environment is would kill you? But I don't know.
You would think
Nope.
that. But that's how the face huggers work.
It's feeding him oxygen.
But wouldn't the other elements just hurt you that are exposed to your skin? Or I guess the oxygen is the main thing that is the issue.
Well, let's face it. Once it
probably
gets
the main thing.
Yeah, but once it gets through that mask, it's already covering what it burned through.
Mhm.
Yeah, they do cut the mask open. They cut the face. They cut the helmet off.
Yeah, and I must say that when they did that scene, it was brilliant. I've read things, heard things. That inside of that egg, I think they were basically using like turkey guts.
Oh.
Using all sorts of guts in that thing.
Yeah, just so it
Gnarly.
would give that look for when the thing came out.
It's a good look.
And let's face it, Facehugger became one of the more became just as iconic as the rest of the creature.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's a good symbol of tenacity. And this is sort of where I also got one little tidbit. One of my first exposures to the thing, because I never knew of this until I saw the movie. But there was a show, ABC, in the 80s, Head of the Class. Howard Hessman played the teacher. And in a second season episode, they do computer dating. And the one girl gets matched up with this guy. And as he explains of his tenacity, you remember that creature in Alien that did this, putting the hand over his head? I'm like that. And I will admit, the actor who played that part was surprised I remembered it, because that actor was Richard Horvitz. I met him like in 2022.
Nice.
Yep. It's nice when the actors get surprised by somebody remembering something like that.
Yeah, totally, right? That must be really nice for him, yeah. Very cool.
Say things that they don't expect. I get that 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that I was really thinking about, because I've watched way too much Star Trek in my life at this point, and just when he does get injured, the guy, and they go down there, you don't see it, but they end up bringing his body back to the ship. When he's in the quarantine, and Ripley's like, I ain't opening the fucking door. Like, protocol is he's infected, we ain't opening shit. Like, you can just stay in there.
Yep, and that is the most sound thing. And she stood her ground with that, too.
Yeah, because it makes sense. Like, I mean, I think they still would have been fucked, because the idea that even had the thing burst out in that chamber, it would eventually got into the rest of the ship. It was
going to take a while, though, because she's following the proper procedure, and obviously tensions are high because it's their friend who's now injured. She doesn't know what's happening. Like, she doesn't know that he's got a monster attached to his face. But her thing is like, yeah, you counted a thing. You got to stay out there in quarantine. You can't. Sorry. And of course, Ash opens up the door anyway, breaking the protocol. You all know why now, but at the time you're like, hey, what
does it? Yeah. When they land too, if you watch like the way he reacts, it's just so well done. Where like you wouldn't catch it if you don't already know what the movie is going to tell you.
Yeah.
There's a comment when.
Go ahead.
After they break the protocol, when Ash is doing the examination in the medical room, I didn't catch this in my previous watches. Parker says it twice. Why don't we just freeze him? Why don't we just freeze him? And Ash just ignores him.
Yeah, they actually show one of the deleted scenes. You see the interaction outside, and yeah, he yells that in. There's also a slight confrontation between Lambert and Ripley during that scene that they don't show because she's upset that Ripley was sticking to this protocol.
Interesting. I got to watch these deleted scenes now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious too now.
Yeah, they took that out because they wanted to keep that obvious tension in there. But why, not necessarily show the cause of the tension. And of course, Ash says he will take responsibility for anything that happens because he
but you're on a small ship. Whatever, I mean, I watch enough science fiction that if something's going to infect your ship, it doesn't take much. Like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Ash is the worst, but the best.
It's just such little stuff that with him when he's examining it, the way they hide it from you, unless you already know what's coming, it's just so good.
Oh, yeah.
And I really, really appreciate how they did it and how they don't let you know what's happening, but at the same time, they let you know that something's not right with Ash.
Yeah. I mean, there's even another thing, but it happens a little bit later. and it's actually seen in, I believe it's in the novelization. I also had a comic of it years ago. Just a little fact that throws everybody, just to show that, again, there's something more off with him. In another deleted scene that happens later, but I think I could safely say this. Ripley, in an attempt to help, ease tension between her and Lambert, she asked Lambert, "You ever have sex with Ash?" To which Lambert then, yeah, that's another deleted scene.
That can be deleted.
Yeah, we
well,
don't need
the
that
thing is that it's one, it would give a little bit more to our view of what we now know about Ash. It would be another tip-off.
But there's no reason to even ask that question because there's nothing there's no romantic with them or anything or any tension.
Here's the thing. Like I said, happens later. So it's something to, quote, break some of that tension. So it's said to sort of help break the tension, but in response, I mean, as it does break some of that tension, which when you're getting in a tense situation, you do need something to break some of that tension, or else you're going to be on edge, right? Spring at any notice. But
I don't like it.
She actually responds, "No, I never got the feeling he was interested."
He's not.
Exactly.
He's not interested at all.
Which, again, it was deleted, but
Good.
It goes to give another clue that maybe there's not something quite right with Ash.
I think it's better being deleted too, because as it is, this is a movie that passes the Bechdel test, and with that in there, it does not.
Well, like I said, it was filmed, it was left out. They decided to leave it out in the test, in the movie. But if you look at any the novelization, it's in there. Alan Dean Foster was very notorious for sticking with original script and original scripting. Part of why he was very pissed with Alien 3 and refused to do a novelization for Alien Resurrection.
Resurrection isn't too bad. So one random thing that I was thinking about this time watching this movie, when the face hugger is on, the first time you introduce the acid blood, when he goes to cut the part off, I was thinking to myself, if he would have cut a little bit higher anywhere else and that acid dripped on the man, well, that's the end of that.
Yep, basically.
Yeah.
I would have eat through his head in a second.
Yeah, but again, you never know. But it's
no, I know. Well, did he know that about? I don't think they knew what the alien was. They just knew something was there.
Yeah, they knew something was there.
I mean, at least in this movie. I mean, there's more that ends up being elaborated in the prequel stuff, but I don't want to go there, nor do I know it. I haven't seen
and that prequel stuff, we have to admit, has been very derisive in the fan community.
Yes.
But they knew, a signal. Something's sending the signal, so something has to be there. So if you go down and up, it's dead. Okay, well, at least we investigated. We have all the proof in our systems. But it could have been a signal from a long dead civilization.
Yeah,
for all they knew.
And the stuff with the acid, like how it just drips through a good chunk of the ship before it stops. Also, yep. I mean, it's also more terrifying because you're in space. Like if you cut any hole through your hull, you're all fucked.
Yep, and that's what's the big concern. Also gives one hell of a line. Got a great defense mechanism. You don't dare kill it. It'll bleed on you.
I mean, that really comes into play in other movies, but yes, it's really well done here. I mean, they don't really do, because you can't cut it. You can only, they don't even know how to fight it later on once we get there, but.
Yeah.
Basically, all you can do is wait for it to die.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Wait till it runs out of food.
Or throw it out into space.
Or that too.
I always forget about, because that idea is just so foreign to us, but if you were in space, I mean, that's your solution. Just throw it out the door. Get away from me. Yeah. Go float away.
It's one of those, you want to survive. I mean, yes, this is a new life form. Yes, you'd probably want to find, you want proof to take back. I mean, let's face it. Everybody who says the Yeti or Bigfoot doesn't exist is, where's the proof? Where's the body?
Yeah. No, it makes it. I have no problem buying it whatsoever that Ash's mission, as we find out a little bit later, is to get a hold of whatever is there and bring it back. Like, I'm not surprised at all. Like, that's normal. Us humans would do that in real life just fine. No question asked. The part when Ripley is talking to Ash, here's another part that's a little bit like you see Ash looking at the X-rays. And I was thinking about it in this watching is one, he turns it off when she comes in the room. Or not X-ray, but he turns off what he's looking at so she doesn't notice anything. And two, before they take the guy out of the room, they already did one x-ray to see that there's a big tube down his throat, feeding him oxygen. Like, why wouldn't you do another x-ray to make sure everything's okay? Why would you just be like, oh, yeah, let's go feed him? Like, let him out of quarantine. Like, that idea is such a... But this guy's not a medical officer. He's a science officer. But he's no Mr. Spock. That's for sure. So,
yeah.
And that was just something I was thinking about, too, is, like, the fact that you can just see how he's kind of hiding things from Ripley. And he's already starting to be kind of, like, making a lot of dumb decisions.
And the way she kind of dresses him down, too, is actually really, really strong. Like, hi! So, about that alien thing, what was that all about? You just breaking protocol and just not doing the thing. Yep. Of course, he plays it off. But the way she kind of gives him the business, the way the captain doesn't, she just really, again, shows some depth of character and shows a lot of strength from her as a character, willing to stand up to someone being like, hey, jerkface, what did you do? Why did you do that stupid thing that you just did?
Yeah.
I wanted to.
I wanted to. I'm the science officer.
Another thing I noticed that I also thought was interesting about Ash, when they go into the medical room after the facehugger comes off, Dallas and Ripley don't close the door as they're looking for the thing. Near the end of it, all of a sudden Ash just walks over and closes the door, which should have been the first thing you fucking do. But the fact that he does it also kind of alludes that he knows more than he's letting on. Like, he knows what's coming. Because a little bit later, very quickly after this, but when they're having dinner and that whole scene happens, he's the only one that doesn't get up right away to check on him. He knows. Like, they know something about this creature. And
that's a hard thing to say. I mean, it shows that he is more detached scientifically. It also hints that he is not being guided by any sort of emotion.
Yes, which doesn't allude to it does allude to what's coming, but it also could just be like, some people are just like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and also the fact that he's the one that closes the door after the fact. Well, let's face it, you start going to searching. Are you looking behind you? Did you hear the door close? No, I've been too focused. Oh, shit. Close that door. I mean, yeah, by sense, it's not on him. You're moving with caution. You don't necessarily think to close the door immediately unless you are also, more aware of it.
I do like how he looks a little annoyed that he had to close it.
Yes.
That's exactly the proper thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same thing, too. Why didn't you close the door earlier?
Fucking born in a barn? Jesus.
I mean, well, just the simple fact.
My kids, we have a dog and a cat. Please.
The thing was on the guy's face. It's no longer on the guy's face. It's in here somewhere, and it moved. Like, they don't know that it's a dead husk now. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know, it's this little thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if before they filmed that scene, they went in there and hid it on purpose.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
So that when it finally popped out, you got a genuine reaction from Sigourney.
They did it in one other part for sure that I know of.
I know that they did. I know what they did for the for the big scene. So we'll get to that.
But it's just, I do like when the husk falls on her and all that. And then, but again, they don't do an x-ray. They just load the guy out. Like, maybe you should double check. Like, hey, you just had an alien clinging to your face. Let's make sure you're okay before we just, put you with the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
He's fine.
He's fine. He woke up. He's hungry. He's chowing down.
They don't have insurance.
He's given all the signs that he is physically well. And who knows, if they figured if there was something in them, then maybe they completely forgot that there might be something in him. But hey, we're going in the freeze tubes.
Ken, you're probably 100% right, considering this is a job where you lose all your money if you don't go on a suicide mission to check on a signal.
Yeah, like, there's no insurance involved here.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
And then finally, this is when the ship finally goes back to the refinery and connects to it. So I had a big question. When they're going through the vents later in this movie, is that part of just the ship itself, or is that part of the refinery?
I'm pretty sure that's just the ship.
Okay,
yeah,
that's just the ship, yeah.
Okay. That was something I was curious about, and I wanted to ask you guys about. Yeah, can they just leave him in that room, then eventually he wakes up, and then he comes to go have dinner with them, and they're like, oh, are you all right? And that's when he's kind of eating, and before shit hits the fan.
Oh, and boy, does it hit the fan! This whole sequence is so iconic. I've seen it 100 times, and it always, unfortunately, it has been sullied by Spaceballs, which has ruined the scene for me.
It has not been sullied good.
I was say sullied, but I can't. I'm always waiting for an alien to go, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey."
Hello,
I'm always waiting for it.
Hello, my
damn it.
ragtime gal.
Yeah, send me a postman. Yeah, I'm always waiting for that, and my brain won't let it go. It won't let it go because I probably saw Spaceballs before I saw Alien. I'm sure I did.
Oh, I did too,
100%
but it didn't change anything for me because I knew that was going to be a comedy.
It's so great.
I'm sorry, but when I see that thing burst out of the chest, like the inner queer in me just has to say, "Yes, Queen."
Fair.
But let's face it, it is an iconic moment.
Oh, it's great.
I mean, yes, part of the humor in the Spaceballs one is that John Hurt actually looks up and says, "Oh, no, not again."
So great. I just watched it again while you were talking. It was it's a great scene. And again, I'm not saying it's been I obviously being facetious when I say that. It's still, I mean, what I love most about this is, again, and thinking about the horror of the day, and again, I wasn't watching a lot of horror back in those days, but everything is bright white. So that red blood, and I've said this before on the show, but red blood on white stark backgrounds is very scary and visceral. And I just love the way it feels so natural. This kind of splatter everywhere. It is really scary and shocking. And it's a marvelously done scene.
Phenomenal. Oh yeah, it is marvelously done. And nobody except John Hurt knew what was going to happen. Only
is that correct? Really?
Yeah. I mean, they got an idea that something was coming. I mean, they were all ushered out of the room as they set things up.
Huh.
And they see Dan O'Bannon, yep. And the others, they're dressed in raincoats. They just look so giddy because they know what's coming. And, of course, nobody else knows what's coming.
I had no idea. I didn't realize a lot of those reactions were actually natural. Like, oh, my God, what am I watching now?
That's really cool.
I mean, it probably says, Ian, keep your shit about you.
Wow.
It's such a good scene and such a classic scene that's lasted for 30-some years. Like, it's, more than that. What am I saying? This is like over 40-year-old movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and it's just so good.
And it still tops lists. I mean, years ago, I watched, it was on Bravo, 100 Scariest Moments in Movies. I mean, it didn't almost every franchise had one entry on it. And there were some entries that I didn't expect to be on it. But ranking number 2, I think number 1 was Jaws. But number 2 was this scene from Alien.
That's fair.
Yeah. No, it's there.
Yeah, and even watch Mojo. Did a list right before, like right around when Alien Romulus came out. And number 1 on the list. This scene.
No, that's fair. Ken, earlier you'd mentioned there was a scene that you were going to bring up. We haven't gotten there yet, have we?
No, we have not.
Okay. All right. I'll wait till that. But just when the alien does escape, after alien bursts out of the stomach, he just escapes too, and they can't find him. Like, can you imagine how horrifying that is? That they're like, shit, this thing just burst out of our buddy's stomach. Now we can't find it.
Yeah, it's the hey, you remember that spider you saw on the ceiling? Yeah. Well, it fell to the floor. Was it dead?
A little bit worse.
No. Oh shit. That kind of thought.
I don't know why, but when they launched the body in space, all I could think of was Wrath of Khan, Star Trek. That's what went through my head when I saw them launch the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
It'd be the typical sending off of a person at sea, except in space.
My brain went to.
Why couldn't they put him in the freezer?
I don't think it would slow down the rotting of the body.
I mean, there's got to be some kind of because they did talk about freezing, and I don't think they were talking about the bed. So Ken's right. Why don't they just freeze him somehow? Because wouldn't they want to bring his body back to his family and not go, what happened to our uncle? Well, you see, something burst out of his chest, so we just launched his body out into space.
Plus, I would imagine Ash is like, oh, we could probably study some more about it and find out how this thing incubated in there. He's just like, nope, pitch it, bye.
Well, we know why that is later.
I mean, yes, but also no. Because if he's got a secret mission, this lines up with his mission for more information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it wasn't actually the body they launched, like they thought it was. But I don't think that. There's no way to. There's nothing that adds to that theory. It just don't know anything about. You mentioned it. And
something to think about.
then this is when they start hunting the alien, but they, hunting the little alien, and the way that they do the jump scares with this, where the guy with the hat, I forgot his name.
Brett,
where he's hunting the alien, but he runs to the cat a couple times, and he finds that at one point he picks up the skin. He's like, "Oh, what's this?" And you see the shedding of the alien.
Yeah,
and he keeps thinking he's looking for the cat. So when he does, like that scene when he does finally find the cat launched in the corner, he's trying to grab Jonesy, and the cat hisses, and you just know, like, fuck. And then you turn around and you don't really see the monster. You just see a little bit of the alien in this because they hide it from you for a while.
Oh yeah, they hid it from you all through the movie, pretty much.
Which, to be fair, that's the best thing to do because it's just a guy in a suit.
Yeah, but just before that,
still looks fucking terrifying and incredible though. Like that suit looks amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, even in the scene prior, I mean, again, one of the deleted scenes is they're discussing about before the funeral about creating a cattle prod to make it. Again, this was kept out, probably afraid it breaks pacing.
It would have. It's just a simple. Just them having it is close enough. Like, we don't need to show how they made it. Just go, here, I got this. Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, they said, how long would it take to cook something up like that? 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's enough. Same with the flamethrowers. He just has it. Like, they just build it. That's enough.
Yeah, and of course, there's a little joke there. Dallas is walking off in the deleted scene. It's like, with those two, it'll take 3.
I don't mind that being cut.
Yeah.
So, I have a question. Where did that water come from that Brett just has dropping on his face?
Hey, how about you don't fucking worry about it?
No,
that's what Ridley Scott told the studio. How about you don't worry about it, pretty much.
Wow.
I'm okay with it, but I was like, okay, could this be sewage of some sort, like, or coolant? But no, if he would know, so he wouldn't be just standing under it. So my guess was like some kind of irrigation or something.
Yeah, it's condensation.
It is condensation.
Stuff.
It's condensation from the cooling system.
Yeah.
All
but
right.
to talk about like the scene, they were hunting a little critter and they come across Jonesy. And that's a nice little comic break too.
Great.
Like, why didn't you catch it? It's the cat.
Like any regular cat would have, running off when you want it to stay, just like a cat. Not doing what you want, not listening to a word you're saying, just like a cat.
He's a cat. But it's like, it was just perfect. And of course, like, why didn't you grab the cat? Because we weren't looking for the cat.
We weren't looking for, right. We were expecting an alien creature to come shooting at us.
Yeah, but now we're going to find the cat again.
It fits like the stress of the situation and everything that's going on. Like, and you actually, the first kill is at hour 7 of this hour 57 movie.
When Kane dies.
Yes. And then, Kane's a little bit shorter. Hour 7 is when I forgot, not Kane, but the hour 7 when you first see the alien drop down and kill the guy. It's right about an hour when Kane dies. Or close to it.
And again, there's another deleted scene there where you actually see it drag him off.
You don't need that. The suspense of it coming down is enough.
Well, see, here's the thing. With that deleted scene, that one actually is kind of important because it also shows Parker and Ripley seeing it, which is how they're explaining it.
Never mind.
Dallas.
Why did they cut that?
Explain it to them.
They viewed it as not needed because it would break some of the immersion. It leaves what happens to Brett up in the air.
Like, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. There's no question.
I mean, let's face it, another key deleted scene that everybody talks about shows that fact. But it adds to the tension. And when you see the cat hiss, you know how they pulled Jonesy hissing off like that off? They slowly reveal when they filmed Jonesy hissing, they slowly reveal the bulldog or a dog to him to have a natural cat reaction because let's face it, this cat's seen the actor walking around. He knows what the guy looks like. It's like, I'm not going to be scared of that. Oh, shit, dogs.
Yeah, that's fair. I love cats so much.
But yeah, that is a perfect... Leaving it in the dark, what happens to Brett is another tension builder.
I mean, from the way that you guys described, I'm watching the scene now. I mean, maybe it could have fit, but I don't have any complaints with this movie. So
yeah, I mean,
like it works. Like you don't see him get taken up. You don't see Parker and Ripley say something about it. But after Parker's explaining, oh, it was big and it just took him. Like it's good enough.
Yeah, I guess you don't need them running in.
You get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm watching it right now. I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm okay with this. Like, it doesn't take away from the movie, but I can agree that you don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to add in for, like, the extra material, like the novelization and that. But it does, it's definitely not needed. You get more effect with how it was.
Yeah, I mean, not seeing the monster is scarier than seeing the monster in a lot of these movies. Like, that's just because our brain will fill in the blanks. I mean, like Jaws, for example. So
definitely.
All right. And then this is when they go into or Dallas goes into the vents. Like, this idea makes sense. Like, hey, it's in the vents, so we're going to start going through and clearing them out and locking everything up. Even though I was thinking, well, can't it just break it open with its acid or somehow? Like, but they don't know that. They don't do that in this.
It doesn't want to do that, though, because, like, the alien can die from depressurization also. Like, it's not bleeding all over the place. It's trying to avoid getting hurt so that doesn't happen. And they're just trying to flush it towards the airlock. They're not trying to kill it.
Yeah.
It's smart enough to know right now not to worry about this doing this. It's on the alien is on its own mission. Make more aliens.
Yeah.
You need live bodies to make more aliens.
Don't you need a queen, too?
We will discuss that later.
Okay. But no, everything with Dallas going to the vent is so claustrophobic and so terrifying.
Yeah.
Just imagine just climbing through there, and the way the motion tracker is in this, and it's well done. And then when the way he gets grabbed, you get a brief 1 second scene of seeing him get grabbed.
Yep.
Well, you see the alien reaching out for him.
Okay, yeah, you don't see him actually get grabbed, but close enough.
And they do find his flame gun with no blood, so it's possible that Dallas didn't die.
Well,
he did at the end.
Yeah.
But
I saw the deleted scene that we're going to probably be talking about shortly, which I didn't know existed. So we'll get there. But right after Dallas goes missing, this is when Ripley essentially gets promoted to captain, and then she goes into the room and starts talking to the computer, and this is when she finds out about Bilbo Baggins' mission, Ash, that his mission is to get the alien essentially, and the crew is expendable.
Special directive what's the number?
Yeah, but it's really well done how she's asking questions, and it just doesn't. It's like that does not compute. Mm-hmm. And then as she keeps asking, then she finally gets the right answer. But the way that when she does get it, and she just all of a sudden Ash is just in the room with her.
Yeah, because he's already suspecting that. Special Order 937. Priority 1. Ensure return of organism for analysis. All other considerations secondary. Crew expendable. Even if they sacrificed all that ore and all that, the alien, the life form would have made up for it monetary-wise in the company's mindset. And Ash was their objective for doing that.
Yep. Ash is there to make sure the mission goes as planned. And and again, this whole scene with Ash too is really fun and good. I remember vividly the first time I saw this and had not realized that he was an android, and really didn't get it until his head is smashed off of his body in an explosion of milk and viscera and whatever else they cobbled into that thing. It is so effective. I don't think I like this scene more than the chest bursting scene, because again, that scene is just so perfectly timed and executed. But boy, oh boy, is it close, because I really do like this threat. And obviously something is wrong with old Milk Sweat there. There's something awry, and it really holds its cards so close to the vest until that final moment where she takes that swing and just bashes his android head off. It's amazing. Just another threat. And now you trust no one. Now you trust nothing. And it's extremely effective.
I mean, right after
Milk Sweat.
Right after she yells at him, he follows her, and he started trying to beat the shit out of her. And so how was he trying to kill her with that magazine? I didn't understand.
Here we go.
But her nose is fine.
Here we go. So remember that scene that I was talking to you about?
Oh no!
I didn't want to be sexual, but it was.
No.
That's this. Apparently, that is Ash's way of relieving sexual frustration,
What?
according to Ridley Scott.
Ridley, you're hanging out too much with Geiger. Stop.
I don't
Stop with
like-
the silliness. Hanging out too much with that guy.
Yeah, I can't see that.
Android. He's not human. He doesn't, and this is no data. So I'm not. It's not like
It doesn't have the
works.
emotion chip.
Yes, I mean,
The ever-changing emotion chip.
it just doesn't work. I don't see it as a sexual thing. I see it as I'm going to murder you, and one way
Yeah.
to murder you is take this magazine and shove it through your mouth all the way through your head. Like, that's what I thought he was trying to do, because the first time I go, he's trying to suffocate her. I'm like, her nose is fine.
It would have been asphyxiation. First off, had he gotten the magazine in her mouth and able to shove it down
Oh, I guess he blocked
past
her
the
anyway.
gag reflex,
Yep.
it would
Okay.
block off the nasal part.
Good
So
point.
even if she would breathe in, she can't get the air down to her.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense then. But I don't like it being what Ridley Scott said. I don't like that.
I don't either, but I had to share it because
I thought it was gonna be
You
something that
have
was an alien. I didn't think it was going to have to do something with a guy about to commit murder, but I get it. Unfortunate, I don't like it.
Ken, you've given me a new. You've given autoerotic asphyxiation a new image.
I didn't give shit. It's Ridley Scott.
Yeah, Ken, don't pin this on Ken. Ken just brought it to our attention. Ridley Scott is the one to blame for all of this.
Yeah, but he had to share it with us. So, but
I'm not sitting with that knowledge alone. It's not fair to me.
No,
Thank you
can't.
very much.
You can't. do
Now
that.
over
You can't.
probably 200 people are now sitting with it too, Ken. It makes you feel better.
Good. Nothing personal, but fuck
No.
all of you. You need this.
Yeah, you can. You can't.
Considering
That's a-
that Mike
no
and
one should
I
have
have
to.
seen the image of a snow leopard's member, thanks to Cody.
Yep.
Oh God.
They're barbed, by the way, in case you didn't know that and wanted to
course
know.
they are.
Jesus,
they're
no,
cats.
Mike. Please.
They are barbed.
No. Mike, no.
See, I didn't say
Oh
that.
my god.
I had to add my 2 cents. But I love when they
Christ.
after they kill Ash, essentially break off his head. The way it looks is, I love it. But the part when they put the head on the table, and I love how it goes from being completely fake to when the camera shifts, it's his actual face, because it's not like, I love that. I mean, I get it,
Yeah.
1978, 1979. But God, it made me laugh. Because I was
I
like, I'm
prefer
waiting for it. I'm like, I know it's going to shift. And it's going to be his head. It's going to be the actual actor again.
Night and day, and I like it better this way. I don't want a smooth transition.
No,
I like it this way.
It didn't take me out of it. It didn't bother me at all. It just made me laugh a little bit because of where we're at in technology and time.
Yeah.
But it's very well done, and the fact they have a good reason to reactivate him is because they're trying to see what he knows about
Creature.
about the alien, since he obviously knew something.
As well as why this special order.
And then this is when they decide that they're going to get into the shuttle, they're going to blow up the ship and leave the alien, get the fuck out of here. So at first I thought the shuttle was the ship, but I guess it's just a escape shuttle part that's attached to the ship.
Yeah, it's sort of like what they would call on Star Trek the captain's yacht. This little shuttlecraft, which is called the Narcissus.
Yeah, but it's much bigger than the shuttlecraft I'm used to, like the Galileo.
Yeah, and they had wanted to do this beforehand, but the shuttlecraft only holds 3, and nobody, I think, was really in the case to who wants to try and draw the short straw.
Yeah, we're not at that
And you can
point.
leave Ash behind. He won't mind. He'll be like, sure, I'll stay with the ship and bring the alien back. No problem, guys. See ya.
Well, even then, they couldn't.
I know.
Even Parker at that time was, I want to kill it.
Which is a fair thinking, because it did kill his friend. I mean, it's killed a few people at this point. Like, it's a fair thinking that he wants to burn the damn thing.
Yeah.
He's
And this
such a
is-
dude.
Yeah. And we have the second, and at this time we have also the second breaking of one of the cardinal rules in horror survival. Don't
Don't
go
split up.
alone.
Well, they don't. Parker goes with Lambert, and Ripley goes alone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
But Ripley's the one that survives.
yeah, it's usually a better idea to go in a pair.
Because when they go get coolant for the shuttle, because that's when the shit hits the fan for them after a little bit, where they get
Yeah.
murdered. That's another good scene, the way the alien kills both of them. I like that
Yeah.
too.
And that is also there is also an outtake right in that area. You see, there is filmed a section where you actually see the alien coming up behind Lambert, but it's done from the side. and it was cut out by Ridley Scott because he did not want the whole thing seen at once.
Completely fair.
Yeah. So that one's a fair one to remove. I agree with that entirely.
The less you see, the better.
Exactly.
To completely be honest, it
this
helps
movie's
the fear.
all about that.
Less is more.
Yeah, I think that fits the claustrophobic. That fits the tension, the fear of being on a spaceship. Like all that fits perfectly.
Exactly.
So, I do appreciate that Parker, when he leaves the room, he burns Ash. Just lights the freaking thing on fire.
Oh yeah.
That's a good little. I like that.
Fuck
That
you, Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah.
That
He was
is-
going to try to kill him, too. He tried to Kalamiha him, or what the hell does it say in Temple of Doom?
Oh, the
Kali
Kali Ma thing?
Yeah, because he grabs his chest with his fingers.
Yeah, well,
Hey.
that was before that was even
I know,
thought up, but
That's
it's like,
my brain.
He was just ripping off his pec,
yeah,
which is hardcore.
Yeah.
Well, he is stronger. He's an android.
Yeah.
So
I do love that nobody knew before then.
exactly.
That's fair.
Isn't that
That
a theme,
was-
though, in these movies?
It's the surprise.
Yeah.
Nobody was expecting an android. Nobody in the movie theater would have expected that this guy was not human.
Yeah,
Upon
just-
first watching it, and you have no clue that this is coming. Boom! Whoa!
Yeah,
I mean, there
it's a
was
little
no
weird, but
there was no origami to help you know which one's a human and which one's not. So
get out.
What's that a reference to? Damn it. Oh, I'm
Blade Runner.
the movie he does
Yes,
after this.
Thank you.
The other movie in the extended Alien universe.
Oh no.
Is that supposed to be part of the same universe, supposedly?
Well, okay, so there was a Wayland Yutani logo in one of the cars, the flying cars,
Oh,
and fans caught it, and Ridley Scott said, "Yeah, I like that idea."
Good job, Lynn.
okay. I mean, nothing ever connects them, so yeah.
Got it.
Well,
He may like the
existence
idea.
of-
Philip J. Dick might not.
Philip J.
Yeah.
Dick is dead. It doesn't matter what he thinks of it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, can't argue
Let's
with
see
logic
him
like
make
that.
Blade Runner. He just wrote a story.
A short story, too.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And wrote a lot of other good things, but you know.
Yeah.
But you are right. He is dead, so he can't be concerned anymore.
Well, was he dead before the movie was made?
I don't know, but he's dead while we're making the joke.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. So Ripley goes to the shuttle, and this is when she realizes that the cat is missing or something. Then she runs after to go find the damn cat. which
Yeah.
Yep.
it feels like that is a mistake to make in a horror movie, but
It feels right though.
You're done.
Yeah. I mean, in the logical sense, and even my teacher, Mr. Callahan, God rest his soul, he said that was a dumb move. You don't
Yeah, but-
go back for the cat.
to be
But-
fair, my dumbass would have went after my Kira. If my little Kira was missing, my ass would be like, "Oh, I know there's an alien trying to kill me. I gotta get my
Oh
cat."
yeah, I would have gone for our hunter. I chewed
So-
my wife out when years ago when there was like a carbon monoxide leak in the building, and she got out of the apartment with my daughter. Everybody was in the laundromat right underneath where the apartments were, and I'm like, "What about Hunter?"
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Cats are wonderful. Animals are our children too.
Yeah.
I'm looking
But
at a
yes.
sleeping dog right now. But I do have a question for you guys that I didn't catch in this movie. I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't catch why. So Ripley starts to self-destruction, and then as she's going back to the shuttle, I think she goes back and tries to turn off the self-destruction. I didn't understand why.
Because the Xeno was in the path.
Oh, okay. I think I must have looked down because I was taking notes while I was doing this, and that's because I missed. I was like, wait, why is all of a sudden she turning around now and getting all upset that she can't shut down the computer that she just wanted to blow up? But that makes sense.
Yeah, and we have also missed the point of you jumped over the point where the big discovery was made, the deleted scene, which again it was removed because they thought it ruined pacing, but you will see it in novelization and any other. After Lambert and Parker meet their demise to the alien, this is when Ripley finds its hive area. This is where you would find Dallas sort of cocooned. You see Brett in the process of being made into an egg, process that is called ovomorphing.
I am glad this is cut. I think this takes away.
That's why they cut it out.
Yeah. I think it's actually one of the better. I did watch this scene right before this episode, and I think this is one of the better ones because it is goopy and glorpy, and that just makes me smile and giggle in all sorts of strange ways. But I think you do lose some pacing, and I think it adds. This is a movie that's trying to be as trim as possible, and it's unnecessary. Yeah. But as a piece of supplemental material, I like it. Like this actually, I think it's pretty cool. But more for just the horror of it and the implications. But I think it was a wise decision to cut this from the original. It doesn't add it's not as additive as other things would have been.
Yeah. I never knew it existed until while we were recording. When we were talking about deleted scenes, I found it. I don't know. I think I prefer not knowing what happens to them because I think it fits the theme of this movie more than finding them cocoon.
It could be a bigger shock to the system, and they decided to leave it out because it's too much to add this close to the end of the movie.
Well, it doesn't serve anything.
The only thing it serves is a somewhat explanation. In lack of a queen, an alien would molt into a queen. But in order to have more, and there's no egg producer around, process is ingrained in them to create an egg. Dallas would probably be kept alive to serve as the host for the face hugger that would come from said egg.
Good point. Okay. So it's kind of like with some frog DNA, where if there's too many females, some will become male, so you can have dinosaur babies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but you guys explained something that was bothering me because, like, when she runs back the auto destruction and she's crying and she's trying to turn it off and yelling, I was like, "Why are you upset? You just wanted to do this," but I didn't catch that the alien was in her way. So
yeah,
I love that self-destruct sequence, the way that she's got to pull those things out, and like I thought that was all really cool. I just really liked it.
Which is also why it's set up the same way in Alien Isolation when you do it later in that game. You do something similar.
Been too many years. I don't remember.
Let's face it, Alien Isolation, the people who made that were constantly watching the first movie to make it as close to the same universe as
they did well.
One. Yeah, they did. But now since we can't get the ship to undo its destruction, she now has to make her way back, and hopefully, as she finds, Zeno's not anywhere near there.
That whole scene of her getting into the shuttle, you see the ship blow up, and I love the way they did it with the colors, and it really reminded me of 2001: A Space Odyssey for some reason. It just did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely some repetition there. Yeah, I could see that.
And I love how she puts the kitty in the chamber. It was so cute. The only part that was missing is the part where the cat tried to climb back out and she had to shove it back in. That's the only part that was missing because that's what we really would have.
Yeah, exactly. You're so right.
Unless
cats just don't listen.
They don't listen. Why don't cats listen?
Because
they're independent.
Where she put the cat was actually a very secure place for the cat.
Yeah, but a normal cat would just walk back out just because. Well, cat. I mean, I also have heard this once before, which I'm pretty sure this is true because I know people like this. People that are narcissists also don't like cats. So that's another sign. Fun fact. I'm not sure how much of a fact it is, but it might be. I know someone that was a narcissist that I dated who didn't like cats. So could be. But neither here nor there. But I don't know. I just thought it was so cute when she puts the kitty in the chamber. And I was just thinking about this, like the part where she's like, everything is just so calm. The movie hasn't finished yet. And it's like, I wonder how it felt seeing this in theaters where you're like, okay, like, is the movie going to be over? Because she starts stripping down, the alien supposedly been blown up. And at one point when you see her messing around with some pipes and you see this thing that looks like this is the cylinder part, I'm like, that's a fuck. And I had forgotten some of this movie. I knew there was something that happened to the alien. I knew he didn't just die in the explosion. And I was like, and then I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's the fucking alien right there before the movie reveals it to you.
If you've never seen it before, it perfectly blends in.
It does. It looks like part of the show.
And that is what they went for. Your tension is high. The alien is gone. She got off the ship. It blew up. You're thinking, oh, thank God it's over. We can have a nice little thump. Oh, shit.
Love it. It's just such a great ending.
It is. Really and is. Her putting on the suit all quietly while the alien is just sleeping, trying to sleep. He's like, I've had breakfast, I had lunch, I had dinner, I had a snack. I'm tired.
I got a case of the people sweats. I'm tired. I am sleepy. Stop with the noise. I'll take care of you in a minute.
the way that she wakes it up by like shooting the hot, I think, what, does she like light it on fire a little bit to get it out of there?
Air.
Oh, man.
It's one of those things. It's in the position. It can take its time. Even if she goes into this little tube, it's still
going to kill her.
Yeah. It's got all the time. It's in the superior position.
Well, not to mention that if you were rescued eventually, that, the first thing they're going to find is that creature waiting for them. Like,
yep.
If you're not dead already, because it breaks through the glass and they realize, hey, look, there's food in here. There's food in this nice container here. I'll just open up this can and have some food. But the way that she throws it out into space and she starts repeating something like a nursery rhyme or something. What does she say? I'm trying to find the...
She starts singing the You Are My Lucky Star.
Oh yes.
Right. That's what she was singing?
Yep.
I thought she was inwardly cursing.
And then the way that she used the grappling hook to like get rid of the alien, but then it comes back onto the shuttle and starts to like try to go into the engine to get back on the ship. I think that's really that's a nice send off to have it just get fried.
Love it. I think it's so good.
It's one of those things. And first off, with the fact that the door closes, and yes, it's still stuck to the damn harpoon, it shows you this is a tough ass creature. Even space is not stopping it.
yeah. Even the vacuum of space is not stopping. It's still thinking, how can I get back into this spacecraft and eat my late night snack? I've eaten enough already, but I still got a hankering.
I mean, even in expanded literature with the comics and all that, there is a scene where in one of the comics where they send this drone over to a derelict to check things out, and drone's handling a little funny. Why? I don't know. Picked up some weight. And then they look as it's coming back. It's like, what the fuck is that? How the hell is it staying on there? An alien is riding the drone back to the ship.
And then the very last scene of this film is Ripley leaves her Starlog, and then she goes to sleep.
Yep.
And that's the ending of this movie. And I feel like there was probably no plans to do anything else with it. It was just going to be like a one-time thing.
Very most likely. It's your best ending you could get from that situation. Company plan possibly foiled. She survived an encounter with a killing machine.
Yep.
One that seems to be able to withstand space.
Space-proof alien.
Yeah.
And and it's a great send-off. And again, the ending is fantastic. It ends perfectly. It's a really solid conclusion to this adventure. And
And this guy the writer never worked in any of the other movies either.
Nope.
He's credited with the creation, though.
He had a big blow up with Ridley Scott during the filming of this movie.
Oh.
Really?
Big blow up.
Ooh.
Wow.
To the point where he was actually kicked off set.
Oh.
Yeah. Like,
no wonder he doesn't show up ever again.
Yeah. Well, in this series. I mean, he does other movies. Dead and Buried, which is good. He wrote the screenplay for Return of the Living Dead.
Fuck yeah, I love that movie.
He wrote the screenplay for Life Force, for a weird little alien movie called Invaders from Mars.
Oh, okay.
Is that what's the guy's name? The director?
Toby Hooper.
Oh, not who I was thinking of.
No, you're talking about. I'm just trying to look over
the Mars movie with all the cameos.
That's
movie.
Mars Attack.
Attacks,
Oh, Mars Attack. Okay, that's what my brain went to.
But like he's done some other horror stuff, and all of the alien stuff that's on his page are based on characters created by. Like, he did not have a good time on this one. They made a lot of changes to his script, and I guess I can see where, you might get a little pissy about it, but at the same time, dude, you sold your thing already. Just be cool.
I'm sorry, sour grapes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up here. Yeah, you're talking about Ronald Shusett.
No, I think he was referring to Dan O'Bannon.
No, Dead and Buried was Ronald Shusett.
Dan O'Bannon did Return of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah, he did. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's why I just said the person's referring to Dan O'Bannon.
Yeah, I saw the Dead and Buried on both of theirs. I just didn't see the other one. But yeah.
And like, I get it. It's kind of a bummer. And it's interesting that this movie kind of got its start from a John Carpenter movie. Dan O'Bannon wrote John Carpenter's Dark Star, a outer space sci-fi comedy that Dan Albertin thought this would have been better if it was scary. And
the alien is a beach ball.
Yeah, it's not a great movie, but
Great movie.
but
Never seen it.
It did, put the idea of this movie into his head, and we do have that to thank for it, as well as the career of John Carpenter. Like it's a good time. Everybody worked out fine for the most part.
Actually,
when does Aliens come out? How many years later was that?
1986, I believe.
Yeah, Aliens was 1986.
God, that's. I wonder if I bet they had no plan for a sequel.
Actually, I was just reading something here about Dark Star. Dark Star was actually the inspiration for what eventually became Red Dwarf.
Not surprised.
That's something we should try and get Mike to watch if he's never seen it.
Dark Star?
No.
Never seen it. Oh.
Red Dwarf.
Red Dwarf.
Never seen that either. I know what that is, though. I don't want to watch it, so. So good luck.
Fair enough.
I still remember seeing something where Patrick Stewart said, "I heard about this. They thought they were ripping off Star Trek, and then I watched it, and I was laughing my head off."
Any last things you want to say about this film?
I'm good. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Kyle, why don't you lead us in?
Sure, but before I start, my last thoughts on this movie is this is just a damn great movie all around. Ridley Scott has made some incredible movies, and this is one of them. Great performances, great cast, great characters, great writing, very simple, but very effective. And to start things off, though, I'm going to say this is easily on my shelf. Just easily on my shelf. I would have this displayed on my shelf. I would take the disc out of the box and watch it multiple times. Yeah, this is easily on my shelf. Great, just damn great movie.
Okay. And Bill.
Yeah. I mean, this is easy shelf. This is one of those important ones. I mean, we've had a lot of these important ones. I feel like we're checking off a giant list of 100 movies that you scratched off with your wife.
This wasn't scratched off.
This wasn't?
It might be on that poster, but it was not scratched off.
It's on the poster.
It's probably on the poster.
I'm sure it's on the poster, but I thought this was a scratch off game. I thought
this was just early on when I was starting to do Spooktober. I wrote down a bunch of movies and I'm like, okay, these are the ones that I'm going to do. Period. And
Gotcha.
That's how this came from. But no, yeah, I mean the poster I've only gotten 4 scratched off, 3 recorded that are all out at the time you're hearing this, and the next one that will be happening at some point.
But anyway, Sorry.
Go ahead. No, finish, Bill.
Yeah, no, you're all good. So basically, this is an important movie. This is important, and it holds up. It's a masterwork of tension and horror and all the fun things I like about movies. The designs still hold up. Even the ones that don't hold up are still charming and effective. Yeah, there's not much more I can say about how wonderful this is, and this is a stone cold classic. I'm glad we were able to cover it today, and this is on the shelf for sure.
All right. And Ken.
I don't think it'll be surprising for everybody to find out that I put this on the shelf. This is easily in one of my top 20 movies. Not only is it just an important movie, but you watch it and you realize just how much was influenced by this. Like without Alien, we definitely don't have Event Horizon, another one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I should do that one too.
Yes, you should.
Yes, you should.
I've seen it once.
So good.
Please, please do. Please do.
Good movie. I'm sure it will bother me though.
But not as much as it could have. But there's so many movies that don't exist without Alien. Not only just being made, but doing so well. If this movie would have come out and just kind of passed like a fart, it would have been a different world. But this was the right time, the right cast, the right director, the right story. Everything just came together to be this lightning in a bottle thing that it needed to be. It grossed $3.5 million over a 4-day weekend, 4-day Memorial Day weekend, which at one time might have been the biggest per-screen opening in history.
It's thanks to this movie that one of my favorite 90s movies came out, The Relic.
The Relic. Fascinating.
Oh, yeah, The Relic. I don't think I've seen The Relic.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, The Relic. The Relic kicks ass. Directed by Peter Hyams. Good shit.
Looks better.
How dare you?
No. Okay, I'm not going to have this conversation now. One day. Anyway, like I was saying, without this movie being a success, the history of film is different. That's how important this is. With its absence, there is now a hole. So, yes, absolutely, this is going on the shelf.
Okay. I'll go next. I'm also going to put this on the shelf, too. I really enjoy this film. I mean, it has the things I like in a horror movie. It has a final girl, and it's not bloody and gory. It's just, I mean, stuff happens, but it happens off screen, and that's what I prefer in my horror movies. So, really enjoyed it. Go on the shelf, and I'm happy that this is now going to be part of the catalog of the show, too. Because, I mean, and Bill, you are right. I am trying to knock off, like legendary horror movies that I feel like just should be on here, so. Besides with the poster, I mean, I don't scratch enough of that poster off, but I'm trying.
It's fine. It's 100 things on there. It's all good.
Yeah, there's more. I mean, I already got the next one scratched off that I'm going to try to make happen next month, and then I can keep going. I'm hoping to get to a point where I'm going to scratch something that's already been on the show or something I've already said, oh, cool, we'll go watch this again. But it hasn't happened. Only the first one was that, Silence of the Lambs. But, all right, yeah, go on the shelf. Richard, what about you?
I think that the answer is going to be obvious. Of course it's going on the shelf. This has had such an impact on me. And when you look at some of the things that we've talked about, this was also a first for the movies at the time in the science fiction genre. I mean, this was the first time, not only do we have like a final girl, this was the first time a woman was such a strong character in a science fiction movie. Not something like a damsel in distress. No, she was there to kick ass. And it's also one of the first movies where we really got a more dystopian feel. I mean, you think at first your alien is your enemy. No, the bigger enemy's the company.
Who would have thought corporation bad?
Yeah, and that time it was basically an unthought of thing.
Yeah, this is... Yeah. Yes.
But I have loved this movie ever since seeing it when that 11th grade British literature class. Hell, it's one of two exams I aced in that class. And I've had a love for Alien ever since. I mean, if you look at my library, you'll see Alien books, novelizations, those that I could pick up. It's such a monumental part of our culture nowadays. You can't picture us without it in the world. It's had an impact. And let's face it, if you want to, we wouldn't have had so much culture references to this, even in cartoons. I mean, it was like Animaniacs. Hey, it's like the mourners run into the alien, and Dot's like, hey, have you met my pet? The pet and the alien walk off like, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Surprise.
Spaceballs would have been worse if not for the genius of Ridley Scott. Sorry.
Metroid wouldn't exist.
Yes,
exactly.
Metroid wouldn't exist.
Not wrong.
That bit at the very end of the movie with the ship about to explode, like, that felt like Metroid. Like, oh my god, this is just Metroid. This is amazing.
Yeah, like I said, this has set up so much. I mean, even the alien is listed as part of American Film Institute's top 50 villains in movies. Even though the real villain is more like the company.
Yes.
But because they're not on screen, you got to have something to point to as the villain. And boom, Alien. Which, by the way, in other countries, they don't call it Alien. It's just called Death.
Yeah, I like that.
And all of the stories are like Death versus Predator, Death 2. Like, they're not Alien or Aliens. It's referred to as the Death. And it is. It is.
Yeah, and it's such like I said, the alien has become so much part of our culture. I mean, even they put it in Dead by Daylight, which could be viewed as an alternate ending to Alien.
All right. I think we should go to plugs. And Bill, where can people find you at?
I do a show called The Gamer Looks at 40. It's a nostalgic podcast for myself and a bunch of people. Tell stories about the video games that changed our lives, but in some situations, yes. But the games that affected us, and I guess get to that heart and soul of the medium as opposed to the nuts and bolts. I don't know when this is coming out, but I'm sure I'll still be doing Final Fantasy of some type or stripe. This someone on Twitter commented, "You should just rename the show A Gamer Looks at Final Fantasy." And it's like, Look, as of this recording, my next 3 episodes have very little to do with Final Fantasy, and then we'll get back into Final Fantasy. We'll take some breaks. So if you don't like Final Fantasy, there's a lot of episodes left to watch, and I will be taking breaks throughout this process because I just can't do nothing but Final Fantasy for 8 months straight. So
about a month from now when this comes out.
Okay, so I'll probably, I don't know. Who knows?
You'll be on Final Fantasy. Who you kidding?
I will be on Final Fantasy for sure at some point, something after 6. But yeah, check it out at gamerlooks@440.com.
And Ken.
You can find my writing for film on kennethsanity.wordpress.com. Also, as this episode airs, we will be ever closer to the debut of my movie podcast, which will be coming out shortly within the year 2024. Finally starting to get ready to record some episodes here. So looking forward to sharing that with everybody. I'll still be here. You can't get rid of me that easily.
I don't want to get rid of you. Hey, I'm watching a very weird French horror movie at some point. Well, that's not really for you, but you will be there at some point. All right, and Kyle.
All right. You can find me in my podcast, the Unidentified Flying Obsession Podcast, or the UFO Podcast. You can find it pretty much anywhere where you can get podcasts and listen to podcasts. You can also find me on Blue Sky at chibiufo.bsky.social. Once again, that's at chibiufo.bsky.social. That's on Blue Sky. You can find me on Instagram at chibiufo. And once again, to finish this off, you can find my podcast, the Unidentified Flying Obsession Podcast, where you can find podcasts.
And Richard.
You can always find me up on my YouTube channel, Rich Kale, where I'm playing through various games and franchises. I mean, Alien has appeared up on Alien Isolation has appeared up on there. You can always check that out. And also, I do write fics that appear on websites like fanfiction.net, Archive of Our Own, and up on Comic Vine. And that's about it right now.
All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, over 650 other episodes of this podcast. You can find everything we do on Podbean. And if you actually want more Alien content, there is one other Alien episode that will be in the show notes, a game that I covered years and years ago. Go check that out. If you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon. For as little dollar you can vote in our Patreon polls. We have 1 to 2 a month, so you can get to affect the show. And we have a Discord. If you want to be on the show or chat with us, join the Discord. That's where I get guests a lot of times for these episodes. And you can contribute stuff to the podcast and talk with us. We're always having new people join the Discord. And while you're shouting my awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Fury, follow her on TikTok and Instagram. You'll see a link in the show notes to her link tree. Definitely go check her out and follow some Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube, audio only. I think that's everything I need to say, so we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody. So long.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.